Hey guys, it's your boy. I'm back at it again. Today I want us to practice the general science of the ASVAB test. Right? So let's jump right into it. The first question of the general science of the ASVAB here is the scale used to measure how acidic or alkaline a substance is called the this one should be the pH scale. At least if from what I recall, the pH scale is what we use to measure how acidic or how alkaline something is. Number two says, which of the following is not a compound? So when I look at water, I see H2O, so that's hydrogen and oxygen. So that is a compound. Baking soda, that is also a compound. And table salt, that's also a compound. So the only thing that I see here that isn't composed of two or more elements would be B, which would be concrete. So that's the only element here that is single. Number three is asking C is the chemical symbol for the element. Maybe you should put like a blank here. But for the element, I know it's not calcium. It's also not chlorine, and it's not chromium. It has to be carbon. Number three says a rainbow is formed as a result of reflection of light. That cannot be it. Interference of light. That isn't it. Diffraction of light. I don't think it's diffraction of light either. I think it has to be dispersion of light. All right, number five. It says a jar with a metal lid is hard to open. You hold the lid near the fire and the lid loosens. This is because option A says the heated metal lid expands less than the glass jar. I thought when something got heated or metal got heated, it expanded as opposed to expanding less. Okay, let's just keep on. So B says the heated glass jar contracts while the metal lid expands. Okay, maybe let's put this here. So the heated glass jar contracts while the metal lid expands. Okay. C says the heated metal lid expands more than the glass jar. This seems more likely. And then D says the heated glass jar expands while the metal lid contracts. Metal lid's contracting under heat. That doesn't make any sense. I'll go with C for this one. A car goes from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5 seconds. What is its average acceleration? In 5 seconds, I'd probably divide the 60 by 5 seconds to see what that'll be. It should be about 12 miles per hour per second. So it should be D for this one. The arrangement of stars called the Big Dipper is part of the blank. So the arrangement of stars called the Big Dipper is part of the. Okay, so that one can also be called the Ursa Major. If I can write, that is. This first one can also be written as the Ursa Major, which will be the URSA Major. And the constellation that I know to be that would be A, so I'll go with that one. A black hole is a volume of space from which no radiation can escape. Well, I know light cannot escape, so radiation must not be able to escape either. For option B says that does not contain any matter. It has to contain matter. Where is all that gravitational force coming from? It has to be matter compressed into such a small space so it has to contain matter. C says that is extremely cold. Well, I couldn't say. I haven't been in a black hole before, but I'm not quite sure. And then D says that contains no energy. Well, if it has matter, it has to have energy. So my option for this will be from which no radiation can escape. I'll probably go with A for this one because I know light cannot escape. So radiation not escaping, I mean, that is likely. Number 9, the great red spot seen on Jupiter is a large crater, a vast desert, a desert in Jupiter. Okay. C says an area of very high temperature. Okay. And okay, let me see. A giant storm. Okay, from what I've heard or known before, I think it's a giant storm. Number 10, a dormant volcano has never erupted. A dormant volcano has never erupted. That's false. B says it's capable of erupting. That is highly likely. C says will never erupt. Okay, will never erupt. Okay, I don't know about that. It could erupt. We just don't know when. D is currently erupting. Oh, this is false. Definitely false. I mean, if it's dormant, then it's definitely currently not erupting. We know it could erupt. We just don't know when. So B seems like the correct choice here. Number 11 says earthquake magnitudes are measured using what? Or blank. A barometer. That's not it. Barometer. A micrometer. That can't be it. It has to be a seismograph, at least from news stories and all the stuff that I've read, publications that I've read. Seismograph is what I typically read. That is the tool that is used to measure earthquakes. So number 12, an occluded front is a type of cold front. Okay. B, a type of warm front. C, a warm front overrun by a cold front. And D, a cold front overrun by a warm front. Okay. I think, from what I recall, this will be correct. Isobars are lines connecting regions of equal blank pressure, temperature, humidity, wind, speed. This one has to be pressure. Which of these is an abiotic component of an ecosystem? Abiotic, from my understanding, abiotic has to mean like not alive. So primary producer, that has to be alive. A herbivore, that has to also be alive. A detrivore, I'm not quite sure what that is, but it sounds like something that has to be alive because all the vores that I know, carnivore, herbivore, and all that, tend to be alive. So I'll go with D, sunlight. I don't think the sun is alive or the light itself is alive. It's an inanimate object. Okay, 15 says, which of these are not arthropods? From high school biology class, arthropods typically tend to be animals with shells, right? So I can imagine all these would have shells except for worm. I don't think I've known or heard of any worm with a shell, so I'll go with B. Number 16 says the 4 blood groups are, or 4 blood groups has to have AB, it has to have O, and then it has to have B and A. So the more likely choice here would be B. And I think that's it for the general science knowledge, at least for the test that I'm using. So yep, that's it. If you guys have any questions, drop it in the comment section. Do subscribe to the channel. There's going to be a great deal of new materials being uploaded. And I'll try to stay consistent and also as responsive as possible and try to get to your comments or questions as soon as possible. Bear with me. This is a new channel. And do subscribe. And thank you again for watching. Bye.